we are live. Hello, everybody watching from home. It's still Cali, but in a spooky voice. Because tonight's episode is gonna be very, very spooky. Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Star. She is our guest tonight.
Okay, and back to normal. Okay, hello everybody watching from home. Tonight is gonna be a very spooky night, but don't get scared because we're here to guide you throughout, and we will be here to inform you on what you need to hear. Okay, so before we start, please everybody say hi to Miss Star. Hi, Miss Star. Hi, Miss Star. Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
How are
Good evening.
you?
How are you? How are you? How are you this fine evening?
I'm spooked.
Wow, already. Okay. So, before we start, Miss Star, I'd love to ask lang my favorite question to ask all my guests, and I believe like this is the episode where I'm gonna get a really satisfying answer. So, are you ready? Are you ready, Miss Star?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here
We
we
can
go.
go. Yeah.
So, Kaliranti shall ask the Stargazer: Is the Stargazer a risk taker or a safe player?
A risk taker.
Why?
I don't like to be bound by boundaries. A person like me probably would be seen as a risk taker. If you get to
Mm-hmm.
face the moo and the unknown, of course you are a risk taker.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
Just that
simple as that.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that if you're not a risk taker, you really can't get to know and get deeper in this field that you're in?
Of course, because you'll be afraid to go beyond the boundaries because there's some things
Mm,
that cannot be explained. So if
okay.
you are not a risk taker, then you want everything to be explained all the time. So you don't go venture knowing certain fields. You won't be trying to find out what else or what's there because you're not a risk taker. So, your life is simply so boring,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
so
And
safe. Yeah.
okay, so everybody gets a background on who Miss Star is. Please, Miss Star, can I ask you what is it that you do exactly?
Okay. First, I'm a, I'm a, I'm a psychic. I was an anchor of ABS-CBN, DZMM. I was, uh, I was more of a paranormal expert. Okay, so I graduated from Ateneo de Manila University with a degree in communication arts. So meaning I am really in front of TV and radio. I wanted to be a broadcaster, first and foremost, or a newscaster when I was young. And I told myself I will be seen on TV someday. I even had this 5 year goal, but it did not happen within 5 years. It happened medyo like 20 years, 25 years pa, okay?
Yeah.
Since I graduated from school. So why I was a businesswoman, but first before becoming a businesswoman, I was a research executive. I was with
Mm-hmm.
corporate planning. I was in real estate, and I
Wow.
was doing I was on upper management level. So
Wow.
I was doing a lot of meetings, corporate meetings, and the sort. So um, what made me interested in the paranormal is something like uh, because when I was young, I could see things. I could see little people. That's how
Mm-hmm.
interesting it became. So I can see aura of people. I can see the colors around them. I can tell what's going to happen um ahead when there's somebody like if you're going to have an accident, I would know whether you're going to be having an accident or you're going to have some good news. So it was part of my life, and then I tried to become normal. So I had a family. I got into corporate planning, and then we had our own business. And you know what? You cannot deny if it's your destiny to be in this field, then you will
It's
end
your
up in this
destiny.
field. Yeah.
Yeah. Destiny is destiny. Simple as
Okay.
that. So,
In college, I was trained by the famous Father Jaime Bulatao of Ateneo.
mhm,
So
wow.
he is a Jesuit priest who is a parapsychologist. Okay.
Okay, a parapsychologist. Wow. So
Yeah.
paranormal and a psychic.
Yeah. No,
No,
psychology.
psychologist. No, the psychologist
Okay.
is not a psychic. Okay.
Parapsychology is another
What is
branch
that?
of psychology. Father Bulatao used to be the department chairman of the psychology department of Ateneo de Manila University here in Manila.
Mm.
So he's very famous, he's very famous.
Yeah,
Um,
I've heard his name once in a while.
yes. But unfortunately, he passed away about 4 years ago. He was old, yeah. And
Mm.
he was training people on how to become good psychologists and also parapsychologists. What's parapsychology is the other side of the normal psychology, paranormal psychology. So this has something to do with the unknown, with the mind, with everything that you cannot explain. So that is one part of psychology. It's a pseudoscience.
I
Mhm.
like that. I like not knowing what the things that I can't explain. Okay,
Okay.
so that's how your journey began? Ever since you were a kid, you just knew that you were different, Miss Star.
Yeah, sometimes I am I get amazed. When I was
I
young,
get
okay,
amazed.
I get
Yeah.
amazed because like you're new to me. I just met you, but I know a lot about you. So when you touch my hand, some images flash into my mind. It's just parang ano yan eh, parang sine. It will just move
Wow.
and I can see bits and pieces of your life. And I would look at you and then I would say, oh, something's wrong with your stomach or something's wrong with your knee. So those are the things that it means that I have the third eye. Okay. Everybody has the third eye. So whether you can feel, you can hear, you can see, you can smell, you can taste, the third eye or the sixth sense is actually the five senses heightened. That's as simple as that. That is a simple explanation. When you see with your eyes physically, when you have the third eye, you can see with the other eye, or meaning you can see things that normal people don't see. Okay, so here, your clairaudient, when you hear sound that nobody else can hear. Okay, so clairgustance is you can taste some things that many people do not taste. There's nothing, but for you, there's something. Okay, so the five senses is equivalent to heightened senses. That is the sixth sense. Okay, so that's why you have the third eye. Okay, those are just terminologies, but everybody has the third eye somehow. So everybody starts with being a sensitive. Okay, when you are sensitive, you can feel, you can hear randomly. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something planned. It's something like you would see shadows just crossing, but you did not deliberately look at it, but it just crossed your field of vision. So that's how random everything is. So it means you are a sensitive. Like for
You're
example, have
sensitive.
you ever have
Yeah.
you ever, Callie, experienced like you're thinking of a friend and
Mm-hmm.
randomly that friend calls you up or send you a text. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. That
So
does happen quite a lot.
okay, because you are attuned to the energies of the friend, you are receiving the message that he is going to call you. Had, did it ever happen that you are thinking of someone and you're going to say, please call me, please call me, please call me now? And then he
Yes.
does do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Okay, now you are the sender and your friend is the receiver.
Wow. So there's like an extra connection that you have
It,
with that someone.
that's
That
mental
connection
telepathy.
that's just extraordinary. So let's just
It's
say my girlfriend, if I had one, I would be so connected and in tuned with her energy that when I actually think about her and I say, please call me, she will call me.
yeah, because you two have had established a connection and you are quite um let's say, familiar with each other's energies. That's why you get to receive and send these messages or these energies. Okay.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay,
for
that's
example, you are a stranger and I am a stranger. Does it
mhm.
happen that I can send you messages and you can send me messages? In a way, yes. That would be you're that good already. But normally we have not established any connection. So the
Yeah,
energies are not
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just as simple as like if you were to break it down into something a lot simpler to understand. It's conversating with someone. If you don't know them, it's a lot harder to conversate and connect with them on certain topics. Is it
Correct.
something like that? Okay,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now
Isn't it that you have
I've got
this?
something.
Yeah, like you're the same wavelength. There's
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
thing. Yeah. Okay. That's.
Yeah. The
Mhm.
your wavelengths, like
Yeah.
are in tune if you guys
They
have
meet.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, they meet. Okay. So, okay, since okay, now I want to just dive straight into this. Okay, let's first talking point I want to talk about tonight, Miss Star, is spirits. Okay. What
Okay.
is the definition of a spirit and are spirits real?
Okay. Spirits are actually there are different classifications of spirits, and there are
Okay.
two basic classifications: the good and the bad. Okay.
Mm,
Now,
yes.
if we go further, are there different kinds of spirits as to um, are there human spirits or any spirit of that kind or whatever lurking behind us or whatever? Yes. Um, you have elementals, which are nature spirits, and elementals are residing in forests, swamp areas, in seas, in rivers, in whatever area of nature. You call them nature. But remember that our where our houses now stand, it used to be probably a swampland or even a forest. So a forest used to stand where our house is, then it must be that there are some dwellers or some entities that who live there. So parang tayo yung invaders. Okay? So we cut down the trees, we clear the area, you do some diggings. So what happens is that you put your house on top of it where they used to live. Kaya nagkakaroon ng um, a meeting of the dimensions. Okay? So they are at the loss because you have invaded their dwelling and you put your dwelling, the physical dwelling. So there's two of you in living in two different dimensions. So do you picture that? Here you are
Yeah, yeah.
physically here, and there's another higher dimension here, and both of you are moving in the same house. That's why there are things that you feel, and there's some places that you can do some sightings, and there are some things that disappear is because they also play with your things or they stay in your house. Okay, that's why some doors open, some chairs creak or whatever. Okay, so it means there are two different dimensions living on the same area. So that's one. Elementals. What are the elementals? You have tikbalangs, you have the duendes, you have the capres, you have other things. You have the fairies, the encantos. You have the tamao. In the Visayas, you call it the tamao. Also, there are different kinds of nature spirits in sa dagat, you have the sea, you have the nymphs, yun ang mga shokoy. That those are nature spirits. Okay. Now, aside from the nature spirits, there's another um, paranormal activity that you call the poltergeist. The poltergeist is not a spirit, but it is the energy of a young person. Okay. I think you have to watch the movie Poltergeist to have an idea of what it is. Actually, these are not spirits, these are energies that group together and then they create, let's say, a disturbance inside a house or a building, whatever. And you have the last one, you have the spirits of people who cross over, who die. Okay.
Okay.
So remember, we did not touch on the good, which means we did not touch on the angels, the divine guides, the saints. We're not touching on that yet. We're touching, since it's Halloween, we'll be touching on the human spirits that we feel everywhere. Okay. Now, when there are human spirits that cross over and um, they become one in the other dimension, why is it that some of your lolo, your lolas, they come to you or they make themselves felt when they passed on to the next life? They make paramdam, okay? Because they are given a certain amount of time to say goodbye to this physical world, like 40 days. They can still move around, some even up to 100 days. They move around and then they still go to the places they frequent. They still go to the places where they love, where they grew up. So they're saying bye bye. Okay. So these spirits are allowed to go around for 40 to 100 days. That's why we can still feel them. Kaya in our house, if somebody passes away, um, you can still feel them, the essence, still the smell of the perfume lingering. Sometimes
Mm,
you can hear footsteps. Okay. So it
yeah.
means they're still visiting. But again, we have to be careful because not all of these apparitions or these, let's say, these manifestations, some of them are not even our loved ones. They can be those mischievous spirits, which belong to the bad spirits. Okay. So they can imitate your loved one. Okay. So,
That just scared me.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Hold up. So
Okay.
there could be spirits lingering around that's not even you don't know them. So they could be in our term strangers.
Yeah.
Stranger spirits, I guess.
Yes.
Oh my god. And I just want to clarify this. Since I actually saw this I think it was a Facebook post, Miss Tarno.
Uh-huh.
They said nga kanang spirits don't enter your house daw. They don't enter your house unless you give them permission to. Like for example, I basically in
Yeah.
the photos daw, kanang
Mhm.
ang door, the
Mm-mm.
door, they can't go in unless you give them permission to or you acknowledge their presence. Is that true?
No, they don't have, there's no such thing as you can keep them away from the door or the windows or something. They can pass through walls. There's no sense of the physical to them. Okay, I'll give you a little
Oh.
example. Callie, when I was a young girl, I was
Mhm.
in college. Okay, so I was walking in Ateneo because there are a lot of trees. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was walking, and here goes Father Bulata. He was looking up a tree and he was talking to something that is not seen. And I said, Father Bu, what do you see? What do you see? I said, there's a girl up there, or a lady, or an encanto there. And then he laughed because he said, yes, there is. Okay, one time, since my classes are communication, so we have this PR and TV production at night. So because of the teachers are only available around 5:30 or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I would walk. Bellarmine Hall is another building. During our time, they're not, it's all trees, okay? They're not much buildings. So I have to walk going to Bellarmine Hall, and the big old acacia trees are there. And then there's this guy that I saw. He was walking, and then I was wondering, oops, I don't think this guy is a guy, is a person because he doesn't seem to look at me. His head was down and he was kind of walking towards me as if he's
Yeah.
going to make banga already. And then I said, oh, okay. And then I felt his energy go like this. I stepped aside, but I can feel him go through. I said, oh, that is a spirit. Okay. So you see, spirits are everywhere. Spirits are everywhere. You cannot say that you can't go in. They would go, they would go in. They can visit you. And sometimes you have to be careful what keeps the spirit inside our homes, or why do they visit you? We have to determine that. And those are things that we have to talk about in detail. Okay, they may be attracted to something in a room or in your house. That's why they keep on coming back. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but first things first is that when, like what you said, how do you keep a spirit away?
Mm.
First is clearing of energies. And how do you clear your energies? Okay, if you're Catholic, you have your house blessed. If you're a Christian, you have it prayed over. Okay, if you're a Muslim, your imam can do something about it. So it depends on your religion. So you can do the stuff of having it blessed first. Okay. Then you can have other things. There are other things that I suggest. Okay. I have my YouTube channel. They can read and watch everything, what, like the Saint Benedict medal and the salt. There are different instructionals on how to keep your space clear. It's there. Okay. This is from an expert, from a psychic. Okay. This is my job. So if there are people or doctors, we can clear your spaces. Okay. So, like for example, you're sitting there. Can I say that it's clear? Well, looking at it, it's clear, but it doesn't mean, Callie, that it will be clear forever. So
Okay.
you have to keep your room well lighted. You have to be happy. Do not get depressed, because if you are depressed, you're inviting these negative energies into your home. It's simply
Oh
like
no.
whatever your energy is, you attract the spirits that like the energy. See? So that's something about spirits. Okay. So they're not just all about our loved ones or anyone who has passed you to the other. That's why there are other spirits, other stranger spirits coming into your home, because these are probably earthbound spirits. Alam mo yung earthbound? There there are reasons why they're earthbound. Probably they cannot accept they have died. Di ba, like for example, there are stories like, if there's in Tagalog, we have talahiban, yung parang when there's this, hindi naman swamp, but remember in areas wherein they just dump the dead, it's a victim of a crime,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
someone gets raped or something. So they just throw them in
Yeah. They toss the body in
yeah, in a vacant lot, right?
Yeah.
So these spirits tend to be earthbound. Why? They don't know what happened to them. They're crying for justice. Okay? So they roam. They don't cross over kasi parang they're looking for their loved ones. They're wanting for their justice. They're asking for justice, and they're looking for their perpetrators. So you have to determine what kind of spirit is there. Sometimes, they just need something. Sometimes they need prayers. There are times that these spirits need prayers. Okay? Okay. Like for example, okay, let's be more descriptive.
Okay.
In Cebu and in other areas, di ba, we have the highways. Okay, since highway, normally they're madilim at night, they're dark, there's no much poles, di ba, especially in the provinces. But there are areas also that parang madaming accidents. When there are a lot of accidents there, mapapansin mo, there's a specific spot na laging may accident. Pag hindi yan ma-explain ng DPWH or any engineer, kasi usually the sharp curves are really
Yeah.
accident prone, di ba?
Right.
But for example, there's just one long road. Tapos
And it's
lagi
just
na
a
lang in
straight
one,
road.
it's straight lang. Tapos, there's this parang there's this spot lang na you, you meron siguro mga 10 accidents na. And then, the common kwento would be na parang may nakikitang babae or lalaki or anything. You know why? Okay. I'll explain to you why. When they see apparitions like that,
Yeah.
actually, there are two. We will discuss what is an apparition and what is a haunting. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So when they keep on seeing a familiar spirit like white lady, or somebody who's a guy who's probably naka just a t-shirt, or any spirit na regular na
It's
nagpapakita ng
familiar already.
familiar na yan yung kwento, yung mga folklore, mga kwentong like they will make kwento na dyan sa street na yan may lumalabas yan lalaki or gano'n, di ba?
Yeah.
So when it's becoming a familiar spirit at paulit-ulit lang na he crosses the street or stays in one place, that is called a haunting. Kasi haunting. Haunt. Hino-haunt. So balik siya ng balik sa place where he died. Now, in the event that he goes back dun sa place na yon, and then tayo naman, we go, joyride, or for example, in the middle of the night, we pass that place, dadaan siya kasi he doesn't know that you are there. He's not really scaring you. He doesn't know that. So,
Yeah.
so nakikita mo siya and then you're gonna get scared. And if you get scared, you get into an accident, right?
Yeah.
So,
You,
syempre,
you're
when you see this guy walking
distracted.
or lady walking in front of you, you go hit your brake and then you swerve and then you hit the tree or whatever. So it becomes
Kaboom.
now collective yung energy na lagi doon. Kasi nga, natatakot sila. That's what happens in a haunting. Okay.
Okay.
An apparition is something like, bigla lang, meron kang, bigla ka lang may nakita, tapos hindi na maulit. It's just an apparition. Okay?
Okay.
So,
It's
di
a
ba?
one-time thing.
But then, it's like apparitions, like they also use the term apparitions kasi like the Fatima or the Medjugorje apparition. Di ba they show themselves to the kids and then they have messages? Yan. Kasi the apparition, di ba? So, the apparition naman has a purpose. Yung haunting, hindi niya alam nag-haunt na siya doon. Na balik siya ng balik. Okay? Apparition, it can be isang beses lang or there is a purpose to it. Kasi meron siyang gusto talaga niya kausapin. Ang haunting, hindi eh. Basta it happens. Ulit-ulit lang. Ulit-ulit. Like just the movie, ulit-ulit. Kaya nag-haunt na siya sa place kasi doon siya namatay. Hino-haunt na niya. Okay?
So that's where the term comes. That's a haunted place.
Yes.
I haven't heard that. That's an apparition place.
Ano?
Ladies? That's a haunted place.
Apparition
that's something I learned
more,
now.
Okay, apparition has more purpose. Like a haunted house. Okay. Bakit sasabi mo?
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
So the hunting is like what you said, it's usually meaningless. They're not aware that that's happening. Only that just because that spot is getting to our senses, we become vulnerable like that too, and then you swerve.
Or
accidents happen. Or
nag-haunt siya kasi yun yung usually ang haunting kasi is the last memory of the dead. Last memory of the person who died. Okay, like for example, somebody was killed was murdered, no? Inside the room, okay? Inside the house. So, when he was sleeping and he was stabbed to death. So, patay siya. So, he doesn't know that he died. So, he keeps on going back to the bed kasi his last energies were there. So, when he wakes up in this spirit form, he says, ba't ako nandito? So, I'm always drawn to the last breath ko. So, I go to that place where I breathe my last. So, pag ganun ko, okay, I was lying here, and then I died. So, you keep on coming back because you don't know really what happened to you.
Yeah.
So, balik
You're
ka na
looking for an answer.
Yeah, okay. So, ikot ka na ikot sa house. That's why it becomes haunted kasi you're looking for answers. You're looking for people that you used to know. So, para ka nang balik ng balik na you don't know where you're going. Ganon. Kaya nga nag-haunt ka na eh. Yan. Kaya di ba there's such a thing as you talk to the spirit, explain to the spirit, he has to forgive, tell the spirit what happened to him. That's what we do as psychics, no? If there is, for example, a haunting and we get the history and he was killed there, I talk to the spirit and say, you were killed here, you have to forgive, you have to move on. So you have to guide the spirit to move, to accept what has happened to them. Ganon. There's nothing behind you.
Oh my God! All this talk is okay. So let's move because the stories are really okay. So since we basically went over the haunted apparition, the types of definition of a spirit, basically, I wanna talk about the communication with them. Like, is there a way to communicate with them, or should we be like avoiding them like overall? What do you like?
Okay, Benito.
Okay.
That's a very tricky question, and I will not be teaching people how to communicate without the proper, let's say, training. But simple communication with your loved one is just keep quiet. You always have to pray first. Okay. And clothe yourself with a shielding meditation. you, if it will be that comfortable with you, if you want to hold on to a cross or hold on to a Saint Benedict medal, keep it with you. Or if you feel like burning incense or making sprinkling holy water all over you, do it. Okay, so you have to find your comfort level. Okay, but first and foremost is you have to pray. Now when you pray, you ask God to protect you and keep you away from negative spirits, and then you keep your loved one in your mind. Talk to your loved one as if he's there. Just talk to him, talk to her, say that you love them, you care for them, and you want to hear them or you want to see them. But you tell them that they should come to you through dreams, because it's much safer to talk during your dreaming period so you can talk longer. Because do you want to see your loved one just appear in front of
Yeah,
you? I don't
that's
think so. Even
yeah,
though
no,
that would be someone you love, but it would scare you, right?
scared the
So
hell out of
why,
me. Yeah.
yeah, so why would you now want them to just appear in front of you?
Yeah.
Just tell them, okay, I'm scared, but I really want to talk to you. So can you go visit me in my dream?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, if
it's
you
a
feel
lot
other
simpler now.
spirits around,
Uh-huh.
is it advisable to talk to them? I will tell you no, because you don't know. You're not trained. You don't know whether are they good spirits. They may imitate your loved one, but they may not be actually the good spirits. So what do? You pray. And you tell them, protect yourself. There are some prayers that you can do if you're a Catholic. There are some prayers. And then you just ask them, do not harm me. If there's a way, then leave the place. You don't go talking to them. There's a saying for us psychics. If you're unsure, stop and you move and leave the place. Don't even curse the spirit or
Okay.
challenge the spirit. If you challenge the spirit, for example, andito ka sa isang room and then you wanted to feel a spirit, sasabihin mo, oh, andyan ka, paramdam ka. They will take your challenge and they will really make paramdam to you. Do you want that? I don't think so. I've seen already cases of young people being possessed because of doing that, because they challenged the spirit. I said, why did you challenge the spirit? And some people would even do you know the spirit of the glass? Have you seen one?
No, I don't want
Okay.
to know. I think. Okay. What is it? What is it, Mister?
Okay, the spirit of the glass is an old game that, during our time, there's this
Mm-hmm.
glass, and then we will burn a candle, and then we will let the smoke go in, and we will put our fingers on top of the glass, and there's this, it's like an Ouija board. Have you seen?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, the
Yeah.
Ouija board has A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then yes and no, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the same. Um, the spirit of the glass has a yes and a no thing, and then it will
Okay.
go yes, it will go no, something like that. It's very similar to a Ouija board. Okay.
Okay.
So you will call, when we were young, we used to call Rizal, and then, you know, you pretend or you think that there's a spirit inside the glass. And most of the time, the bad spirits or the mischievous spirits will play on you. So they will be influencing the glass to move. There's some people that, they're not even touching the glass, it's moving. So there is a spirit there. Okay, so it's very dangerous. You don't know whether you're playing with the devil. So if you are not
Yeah.
trained, it's so nice to talk about something scary. But if you don't know anything about it, let it be. Don't try those things that you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there
Okay.
questions from other people?
Yes. Are they? There are instances that they can be harmful. How can they be harmful? Like.
Oh, okay. So you're like asking whether can they be like the ghost or something with that's something like, oh, it's an old film. I don't
Mhm.
You were not born yet probably. Um uh it depends on how long they have been earthbound. If the spirit has been earthbound for a long time, they can already move objects. But if the spirit is just there for a short time, how can they harm people? Okay, example, children in a house. There would be spirits. That's why they say you have to be careful of doppelgangers. A doppelganger is imitating a person who's alive, not a person who's dead. Okay, for example, in a house, there's a mom and dad and two kids. For example, the dad is already upstairs and the mom is downstairs. Now, the mom probably would be doing something in the kitchen, and suddenly the child would apparently see their mom at the foot of the stairs calling them, apparently. But the mom isn't there. So there's a doppelganger. So what harm can they do? So they will call the child to go down. And if the child is that small and cannot even go down yet, so there will be accidents. Okay, so that's how they harm people. They will influence you to do something. Okay, just like I was telling you a while ago, probably in a road where there is a lot of accidents. How do they harm people? It's because they're haunting, or how they haunt the place. You will see them. It's you creating your own accident. It's us. Because you're so scared. They will show themselves, and then you're gonna get scared. So you get into an accident. So you bump the tree, or you bump the barrier, or something like that. So it's you actually harming yourself. It's not them.
Oh my god.
What else? For
Okay.
example,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, what
Okay.
else?
Here. Well, like I've seen one of your live streams, the do's and don'ts. Basically, my question is, I'd like to reiterate that. Like, what do I do when I feel like I've encountered, and
That's
what
great.
shouldn't I do? Basically, like in simplest terms, like just layman's terms.
Okay. Um, what to do is number one. I told you, you have to protect yourself. You have to pray.
Mm.
You have to do. i- i- If you want, you can have a cross or anything religious with you. So that's a do. And then second, if you're not sure and you feel afraid, because if the spirit is bad, you feel it here in your heart. You can feel afraid. If you are afraid, then it means that is a bad spirit. You go by feel. Okay. Now, if that's the do, you have to move out of that space and don't go back. Okay. Now, the don't challenge the spirit.
Okay.
Don't talk to the spirit. Don't pretend that you can. Kasi minsan, young people would sige nga, dare, dare.
Yeah.
And when you do dare people to do that, they play on you. They will play and they will do something to you. Or they can even possess you. They can go inside. They can influence you.
Okay. Okay. So if I feel like, so for tonight, I'm gonna do it realistically here. For
Okay.
tonight, since I'm kinda scared, not gonna lie, Mister. So if
Okay.
I feel like I'm getting that feeling and I'm getting scared, just I'm a pray. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
pray. Okay.
No, but
It just
sometimes you're just afraid. But it's just you, psychological. So you don't have
okay.
to. Yeah.
So maybe it's just me. It's
Yeah.
just me fooling myself,
Mm-hmm.
basically. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay, now I'm really getting that deeper understanding of how spirits and the whole thing works now. And okay, this I have just one thing lang Miss Tarno. But when it comes to like non-believers, okay, because like unfortunately I really wanna talk about this shit. There are non-believers. In their case, like when they keep denying the spirit or that those entities, the things that they can't understand, what could be the effect of the denial for the non-believers? Is there anything you can tell me about that?
You know what, Kelly? They would be non-believers up to a certain point, you know.
Mhm.
But it comes to a point when a loved one passes away, they become believers because they would want to reach out to their loved ones. They would want their loved ones to see their loved ones again. It is not until they experience the loss of a loved one. do they become believers that there are spirits. And one thing, I'll just ask you, have you seen God?
No,
Okay,
I have not
but
seen God.
God is a spirit, right?
Yeah.
Why do you believe God if you cannot see Him? Because you can feel them, right? Because of your
Yeah.
faith. Now,
Yeah.
with these
Faith.
spirits, once they lose their loved ones and they get to feel their loved ones, they become believers because they feel already the presence of
Mm,
their loved ones.
okay. It just comes to that point in their life where it clicks, turn
Yeah.
of events, then they go, whoa, should have believed it in the first place.
But you see, there are some people who can be sort of, um, try to explain things
Uh-huh.
into like coincidences.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There
They
would
try
be
to make
some,
excuses.
yeah, there will be some people like, for example, their father, their mother passes away, and
Mm.
then I don't believe my dad hasn't gone to me in my dreams, or I didn't feel him. And then suddenly one day there comes a message to that person, to him, that that it comes from your dad.
You just feel
He,
it.
yeah, he knows deep in his heart that he got in contact with his dad, but he would always say, "Oh, it's just a coincidence," because there are people who can have denials, because these are denials.
Yeah.
They are not open to having an encounter, real encounter with their loved one,
Mm. Okay.
or they would not
Okay.
admit. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think that basically closes our discussion on spirits. And I
Mhm.
actually noticed on your, is that your left hand? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's on your right hand. Is that like karma? Does that involve karma? Can you tell me about those? Because
Okay.
I've seen a lot of those through the internet, and I don't really have a clear like
Okay.
image or like
Um,
definition.
I travel a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I go to the biggest gem and mineral show in the world. Okay, so it's held every February in the U.S. It's in Tucson, Arizona. So I go there and I buy my stuff there. So these are miners, and they are people who design stones. These are semi precious stones that have specific purpose. Okay,
Okay.
like for example, we're talking about spirits. What bracelet should I wear to keep the spirits away? So I would usually wear something like this with the black tourmaline, and then you have selenite, you have kyanite, and these are all cleansing of the aura. It means I don't like any negative energy coming near me. So
Uh-huh.
these stones keep the negative energies away. Okay.
Okay.
So there's another bracelet. I don't know if you know. This is another topic, which is all about Mercury retrograde. So these are stones for Mercury retrograde.
Mm.
So retrograde is something like, well, it's astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I wear it to keep my communication good, better. Okay.
Yeah. Good and clear. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I get that. And since I basically opened up karma, can we talk about that, Mister? Is it okay if we can talk about karma?
Okay.
Like
That's a long. That's a
just
very
a
long
brief
topic.
brief
Okay.
description, because I want to know, like, in simple terms, how does karma work? Like, how does the whole thing work?
Okay, okay. Let's get the simple karma. The simple
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Simply, what is karma? It is so what you will reap what you sow. It
Mm.
is the law. There's a equivalent to the law of the universe or the scientific law. So there's the law of cause and effect. That's karma. In science, there's the law of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Newton's law of cause and effect. Um, Karma is simply the energy you bring out is the energy that you receive. Basically, karma rules us, everyone. Example, if you're good to your neighbor, goodness will also come to you thousandfold. If you cheat other people, someday
Mm-hmm.
somebody will cheat you in return. When you don't diet and you don't watch out for your diet, and you eat and eat and eat all the bad things, isn't it that the karma would be you get sick. If you are careful with your body and you work out and you eat well, then you will be receiving good karma. But of course, there are also like exceptions for this. Like if your DNA is not good, then you might have cancer, even though you are healthy. Okay, even though you eat healthy. So karma governs our attitude or movement every day. That's why it's very important that you do more of the good every day so you receive blessings all the time. So when
Okay.
you do a mindset,
Mhm.
it follows that do not get affected because you put your mind into it. It's like a play
Mhm.
of psychology. So
Mhm.
if you believe that you will not be permeated by negative energy, then it will not. But if that's the reason why you're positive, pero half-baked ka. Kasi you still
Yeah.
have fear in your heart. So it means you don't believe that you're positive. Kasi if you are positive, nothing can break down that barrier or that shield.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
it's in me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's you. Actually, it's you.
I'm. It's just me that can really strengthen it. I don't need
Nobody can
other
strengthen it
people's
for you. Yeah.
approval. Yeah. Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Actually, I like talking about karma. Okay. And now I really want. Actually wanted to talk about this as start, but then I think it's such a good ender for this episode. Let's talk about you being a psychic, lah,
Mhm.
Miss Star. Okay. There's it comes often in my group of friends that we sometimes asking like psychics, why is it so important to have a psychic? So I want to ask the psychic, like, why is it that like people go to psychics before an important decision? Like I want you to like highlight the importance of having a psychic or being a psychic.
Actually, it's like going to a shrink. Okay.
Okay.
It's just the same as going to a counselor.
Mm,
Um, there's some people that they know the answer. Like when
mm,
they have problems, they already know what the answer is, but they have to hear it from somebody else that they don't know. And
mm,
they will believe that it's true, even if they know the answer. So it's me. They don't know me from Adam and hear me talking like I know them makes them believe that what I'm saying is right, even though they know the answer.
yeah.
Okay. Now, why do people go to psychics when they make big decisions in life? Probably I might see something that people people or normal financial advisors do not see. Like for
Mm,
example, I can see that hey, this partner of yours will dupe you or will be fooling you. So this person don't get into a proposal or any business with that person. And it true
mm,
enough, something happens. So that's why we give the warnings. A psychic gives warnings if that
okay.
is a reliable psychic. There are some psychics that do not observe proper etiquette. Okay, so they will, since a person is dependent on them, what they do is they let them move around their fingers because they will be asking for more and more and more money. Of course,
Mm,
like us, we do this as a service, but the thing is, you should not take advantage of the client, of the person. So that's what you call
yeah.
being responsible and being learned. There are a lot of people who claim they're psychic and they say things like, I see something like this, I see some, or they invent things just to get that person. Remember, a psychic who will tell you all good about you and something that you know already, that's not nice. It means that you don't need to know something that you already know. You need
Yeah.
to know something that you don't know so that you are warned. But if somebody tells you what you already know and you get amazed, how did you know that? How did you know this? But does it help you? No. He's just talking about something of your past, but we move forward. So you are there to make your decision. You're moving forward. You should be asking, or she should be saying things that pertains to the future. Okay, so not more of the past. The past should be left behind unless you're
Yeah.
trying to solve a problem. Okay, so that's how you that's why you go to a psychic.
Okay. Yeah, and I just like to make a comment lang, if I may. Like the when you mentioned nga katong the psychics that act like they're psychics even they don't have the proper training, and like what you said, they use their skill, I guess if you call it, as a way to take advantage of them. It's what really degrades the image of psychics, no? Because
Exactly.
I'm honestly, if I ask myself, I'm a firm believer because I like to believe on the things I can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
As much on the things that scare me. Then I'm like, yeah, there's so much more to this world that we can see, that we can hear, that we can smell, that we can taste, that we can feel. So honestly, that's also like I want to get that out there. If anyone watching this is trying to act like they're a psychic, stop, man. Don't. That's not good. That's bad karma. Am I right, Miss
Yes.
Star?
Uh,
Yes, that's
you,
bad karma.
it's more like this. God made teachers, God made doctors, God made nurses, God made psychics, God made counselors. God made us individually with different talents, like Chef Ramlo's there, Chef Ram. He's good with food. Everybody has his own gift. Okay.
Mm,
So hone your gift according to what is destined for you, and not that is you just want to be a psychic just for ego or power trip. Some
mm,
people say they're psychic because they like to be regarded as different. I'm not different. I'm not a person whom you will see wearing a long cape, a gown, or something like a hood. I I'm not that. I'm a
yeah.
normal person. In fact, when people see me, they say, "Oh, she's like a tita who loves to shop."
Mm,
You have to appear normal. But you watch my eyes. A psychic has a different set of eyes because a,
mm,
a, a psychic would always look at you, and look at you very intently. You would know if a person is psychic. You would feel,
just
because
by
the
the
way
eye.
he would be looking at you and observing you. But a good psychic will just keep quiet. And I don't just give my opinion or advice if I am not asked. You have to ask for it. It's not just power tripping that, hey, I know this is going to happen to you. I don't go scaring people. They have to ask for my help. So a good psychic would be someone who's responsible. A good psychic says or tells the truth. A good psychic does not ego trip. Otherwise, they'll be
Right.
leaning towards the left, which is
Yes.
they would be doing bad things and they would
Yes.
be reaping bad karma.
Mm. Going to the left is not the right. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And okay, this is a very personal question next, because I don't know. I just really would like to know if you want to answer, Mister, go ahead. But if you don't want to, then I understand. Okay. Um. What is your prediction for 2021? Since we are all looking forward for it, do you have one?
Not yet. It usually comes out December. Okay.
December now.
But what do
Okay.
I see in 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That please.
There will be a semblance of trying to be normal, but you know, some medication or some vaccines will come out, and we really have to have them.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there's no medicine yet or no vaccine, it's gonna not gonna go poof, that virus. It can even mutate to something else. So what a psychic like me, what's my advice? I think it's more of an advice. I
Okay.
guess
Yeah.
it's more of learning to be careful, learning to value people around you. It's more of uh, learning to take care of ourselves and being careful, and also with our loved ones. And we have to be flexible, and we have to do things differently now.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh, Let me just highlight that again. We have to do things differently now.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And on the last thing, just this is a favor for all my friends watching out there. This is for you guys, Jesus, Sarah, Vincent, all for you guys. So, Miss Star, to the young kids watching, what is one thing, one advice, piece of advice that you, an expert, can can give to help us from the, from the spirits, from karma, what is just the one piece of advice that you would like the youth to know? Because this is youth.
I guess it's more of do not be afraid. Do not be
Okay.
afraid of things that you don't know, but do not also be too aggressive. It's like being open, but do not be too out there. Um, you have to be in the middle. You have to be balanced. If you can't do it, don't. So you don't pretend that you know, and you don't pretend that you know a lot. So it's more of you must have the humility that to acknowledge that you don't know anything about that or even about spirits. So you don't go trying and experimenting. But I'm telling you, you should also take away your fear. Why? Because not all spirits are that scary. Not all spirits are there to harm you. There are some spirits who simply want to say goodbye to you. There are some spirits who are asking for help. So, what is the better thing to do? If you encounter a spirit, pray. You pray that the spirit finds the light. You pray that the spirit doesn't harm you. You pray for protection. That's more important. You pray because you don't know what's in front of you. You can never say, wala yan. That's my advice.
Wow.
Mhm.
I was really into that. Okay. I pray. Okay? Guys, if you're scared, you pray. That's, that's from an expert, guys. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. And on that note, I'd like to thank you, Miss Star. Thank
Yes.
you so much for sharing your knowledge. Do you please before we
Oh, yeah.
before we go away, please tell us where we can find you, where we can learn more.
Okay. Every Thursday at 8:30 p.m., I do live at Stargazer Philippines. It's an FB page. And I
Okay.
do have my YouTube channel, which is also Stargazer Philippines. Now, if you're interested on like their videos of my past guestings and what I did for ABS-CBN and the stuff, it's all there. So there are different topics that you can look at. What's more comfortable with you, what to start with. There will be things that you will be glued on, real people talking about their experiences and what I did for them, so they're all there. They're real. It's not something that's acted or something like a drama. These are real people talking about what they experienced from me. These are producers, these are writers that tell you what quote unquote my powers are. Okay,
Mm,
so learn what I say about how I can make computers hang and then light bulbs burst. So they
wow.
are in the field of the paranormal. So it's more of the
Okay.
power of the mind. So what we talked about is just very simple. So if you want to learn more, maybe some other time we can talk about ESP. So how to develop it and how to be safe about it. So the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Please subscribe. It's Stargazer Philippines. So my FB page is Stargazer Philippines also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stargazer. That's all
Yeah.
we need to remember. Okay, and okay, I think we're coming to an end.
Yeah.
I'm honestly kind of scared right now to go away, Mister. Ooh, I'm scared to be alone, but just like what you said, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid.
So, what is that thing lurking behind you?
Me, please! Ah, my God. Okay, come on, come on. Okay, okay. I'm gonna pray. Well, okay. Thank you so much, Miss Star, for tonight's episode, and I would like to end this episode in a
Deep voice, okay? Because, I'd like to be, you know, support the aura and the mood of tonight. So thank you so much, Miss Star, for being here, for sharing everything that you shared. And everybody, for your information, next Friday is the season ender of Youth Talks Season 2. Okay, so I invite you guys, please watch next episode. It's the last, guys, so we're going to go out with a bang, of course. And thank you. That's it for tonight. Youth Talks, Galiranti, you share, you inspire. And I'm out. Three, two, one.
Okay.